I even taught stand-up comedy once. I was in a performing arts camp in America, and the main thing that I personally learned from the course is no matter how supportive the parents are, they won't high-five their teenage child over a masturbation joke, no matter how strong the punchline is. Basically, my point is I'm available for bookings. I'm not invited back to some account. Yeah, I do take a lot of things literally. Like, till I was about 12, I really thought someone named Bob was my uncle. I would often go to AA meetings, wearing balaclavas. Full schema. Yeah, I was the only one there even trying to be anonymous. Everyone else had to face out. Yeah, if a girl tells me she thinks I look hot, I'll take off my jacket. Yeah, but I like to think that and I sometimes make people feel like uncomfortable in social situations. Like last year, I was asked to do a small speech at a friend's wedding, but apparently quoting UK divorce statistics. Like how over 65% of first marriages in the UK end in divorce is not appropriate for that setting. Anyway, that's a story of the first and last wedding I was ever invited to, which I'm pretty happy about. Some people just can't handle statistics. I understand. I was saying this, so my colleague, my work colleague that came here, we mainly work weddings together, and I was trying to say I don't do that. Like I don't feel like he has like two Jamesons and Coke. Did you know that 65% of first marriages in the UK do end in divorce? I do not do that. But yeah, I think the only thing that autism has really held me back from is doing cocaine. Because having long, intense, one-sided conversations with people is what I do not on cocaine. So that is amplified. So we live in a really divided time. There's like a lot of people putting up English flags when it's not the World Cup. Like the far right are saying that immigrants and refugees are coming over to the country, bringing in drugs, and taking our jobs. Well, I hate jobs, apart from the ones we do together. And I love drugs. I think drugs are amazing. So if people are bringing drugs into the UK, I fully support that. Because I don't know how to make drugs. But right now, billionaires are currently bankrolling the far right. For example, Reform UK has received over £9 million in donations this year, far more than any other political party. And most of that money came from just a handful of billionaires. Now that money is directly going towards trying to distract and divide people by blaming immigrants and refugees for the worsening economic situation, while at the exact same point the number of billionaires rapidly rises, and then they pay millions in far-right politicians trying to convince people that there's absolutely no coincidence whatsoever. Like, historically, the ruling class have often got the poor people to fight amongst themselves by getting them to focus on how different they are from each other, so that they can run away with all the money. It's very effective. They're doing a great job so far. Please donate to my OnlyFans. So I went to a mosque. I'm not Muslim. Like I went to a mosque to write a joke about going to a mosque. Yeah, religion is one of like the greatest connectors of people. Like it can connect people from all kind of different backgrounds and differences with the shared belief that there's something larger than ourselves. And right now, we need a lot more unity and less division to fight the billionaires. Non-violently. Like make love, not war.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Make love, not war. Unless that war is fought with genitals. And the first country to come loses. Just an idea. Like right now, the number of billionaires is rapidly growing all around the world, and their wealth is growing at a rate never seen before. And if we don't have a large-scale international collective effort now, the rich people will inevitably become insanely richer every year until they buy up all the assets, and the government and people will all be dependent on them. I mean, there's never been a better time in history for us to come together internationally, collectively than right now. Like the lines that separate different bits of land which make countries are all imagined. I know it sounds like I'm going to start singing John Lennon. Hopefully I'm not the only one. My favourite joke of the show. My favourite joke. That went down so much better at the mosque. Yeah, we need a lot more unity and less division. Like a few years ago, I was in Australia. I was there during the gay marriage vote, and I actually met someone who voted no to gay marriage. It wasn't a gay guy terrified of commitment. It was a guy with some very old-fashioned and homophobic beliefs. And his main belief was that if we allow gay people to get married, then people will start marrying animals.
Where was he from?
He was from Brisbane,
Oh,
but he was. Well, are you guys from Australia?
I'm from Sydney.
Okay, so were you there during the gay marriage vote?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember the
I
media?
can't remember when it was though. What year?
It was like it was more than a handful of years ago. But
Yeah.
like, so this is the first Australians I've had at the show.
Oh, really?
So basically, like, do you remember the campaign to say no to gay marriage? It was the most basic advertisement. The advertisement to say no to gay marriage was literally, well, you can say no. That was it. That was their entire advertising. Well, you can say no. I mean, like, it's not like. Is that accurate? Was that...
I mean, I don't remember what year it was. I might have been quite young, but we recently had a vote for like our Indigenous, like First Nations people.
And you said no to
and
those.
it was also
yeah.
like people were like, oh, I just voted no for an Indigenous voice to Parliament because there wasn't enough information.
Wow.
Like because the campaign was so bad, the campaigning was so bad for the yes vote. Yeah, very racist.
So it's quite a racist country. To kind of give you an idea, like, so this is more just kind of, you're not laughing, you're learning. But the Aboriginal people in Australia, so the native people to Australia, they fought with Australia in World War II, and they were legally defined as flora and fauna. So they were legally dirt and flowers. Yeah. If you're not laughing, you're learning.
Yeah.
This is like.
Yeah.
I did not know I was going to say that before the show, but yeah, you can't say no. And there was great, yeah. So the guy that I met in Brisbane, he was like, yeah, he was like, you can't allow gay marriage because people will start marrying animals. And I think that's the best thing that could happen. Yeah, hear me out. So I think people should marry animals. Because it's the best and quickest way to catch the people having sex with animals. I'm just saying, marriage has always caused people to have less sex. Basically, the main reason that I'm here is to pass around my pro-animal marriage petition. It's completely anonymous. Yeah, you don't need to sign it. It's just a prop. It's like, you don't need to sign it. Yeah, I don't understand homophobia. Like, we need gay people to help fix overpopulation. But I think homophobia is much more of a hatred than it is a fear. Like a hatred of something which is different. Like if only those people realized how amazing a prostate orgasm is, the world would have a lot less hate and longer and more intense orgasms. I'm also available to book for children's parties. Yeah, the toxic masculinity has been mentioned a lot the past few years, especially like recently. Louis Theroux did like Inside the Manosphere documentary, where I basically showed that a lot of toxic masculinity is getting a lot worse. Like It's the basic idea that guys can't express feelings or vulnerability without alcohol. And sometimes it gets really bad. Like last week, toxic masculinity got so bad that I just tried to hug a guy, and he was like, no homo. And then I had to be like, dude, that erection had nothing to do with you. Just happens sometimes. So I think the only minority which is destroying the UK is the billionaires. So every year they're becoming insanely richer and making a lot of the population a lot poorer. And one of the ways they're doing this is something called passive income, which, so the average UK billionaire receives over £90 million a year in passive income, which is like the money they get from their assets, like their businesses and property and stuff. Or it works out to about £580,000 a day, every single day. Basically, billionaires make more money when they're sleeping than I'll ever make during my entire life doing OnlyFans or orgies. Like, but there are a lot of people around the world protesting the rapidly growing wealth inequality. So over 75% of the UK public support a wealth tax, and 120 UK millionaires, including people like Gary Lineker, publicly state that they'd be willing to pay more in taxes to help fund things like public services, like the NHS, and reduce things like homelessness, which is growing at record rates every single day. So every day there's always more people demanding change. Mainly the millionaires and homeless people. But yeah, the social contract used to be that the rich got richer and the majority of people working a 9-to-5 job could afford a moderately good standard of life. Like own their own house, go on holiday a few times a year, maybe get a conservatory. But now that social contract has been broken, where the rich are now becoming insanely richer every year, and the majority of people working a 9-to-5 job can barely afford to keep their house, have to go on holiday to Skegness, and are even made to live in a hostel for a month, selling iPads, being sponsored by a family from South Sudan, while the UK billionaires all have like 9 or 10 houses with solid gold toilets in all of them. Coincidence? Or maybe one of the largest and fastest ever accumulation of billionaire and multi-millionaire wealth in history naturally makes a lot of the population a lot poorer, no matter how many people we deport. In fairness though, that is quite hard to fit onto a sign. It is a lot easier just to write stop the boats. But the quickest way to reduce inequality and poverty isn't through blaming immigrants or refugees. It's by fairly taxing the assets of billionaires, or through various billionaire editions of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Just to be clear, this joke isn't anti-1%. It's pro-99%.
Yeah.
I thought you raised your hand there, apologies. I'll get next time, I'll high five. But yeah, like we should move away from billionaire-funded, divisive nationalism, which separates us from people. Apart from in Scotland, I mean, fuck the English, am I right? Yeah. Apart from people from Newcastle, I mean, like they are fine. Because like immigrants and refugees are just people born a different part of the planet. Like no one chooses where they're born. Like if I could choose where I was born, I would obviously be born in a manger in Bethlehem, surrounded by wise men, and despite living in a really hot country, still somehow have the complexion of an Eskimo. So I recently found Jesus. He's an Australian guy that I met at the hostel. He's a really fun Jesus. Like one of my favourite times with Jesus is on the Museum of Jesus in South Kensington, where we went, because he's a narcissist. Yeah, so we went in, I mean, first we smoked a joint outside. We went in. We got stopped at random for a security check. He was pretty stoned. And they patted him down. They made him stand like this. And they found a bag of weed, and they were like, "What is this?" And he replied, "Blessed be are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy." Come on, guys. What would Jesus do? He's now banned from the museum. Because they know Jesus usually comes back. Yeah, if there's any Christians in the room. Well, I mean, firstly, Christianity is a religion where you can say or do whatever you want, as long as you ask for forgiveness afterwards. So if there are any Christians in the room and you're offended by any of this material, I want to ask you to forgive me. It's what Jesus would do. Checkmate. So during an acid trip with Jesus, kind of like the original Jesus, he loves to give like poignant speeches about togetherness and community and being kind to the less fortunate. He also often has 12 people that follow him around. And one of the main things I learned on the acid trip was there is no them and us. Like, every single person on the planet has differences to every other person. So there's only a them if you choose to see people's differences as something negative. However, if you choose to focus on people's similarities, or the work that you guys can do together, or their differences in a positive way, then you'll feel and act a lot more positively towards that person or group of people. Essentially, where focus goes, energy flows. Whatever you regularly focus on becomes your reality. And we could easily change our reality by focusing on people's similarities instead of their differences. And when enough people do this collectively, the social fabric of society inevitably changes into a much stronger, more compassionate and inclusive collective consciousness. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think the world would be a much better place if more people did acid with Jesus. Like, psychedelics are value-changing drugs. Like, they can kind of change how you see yourself, other people, and the world. And as long as you have a positive guiding environment, it's probably one of the quickest ways to heal a deeply divided world. So if you'd all please look under your seats. I'm just joking. I don't have that kind of budget. I don't have that budget. Yeah, we need a lot more unity and less division. Like, we don't need to have a huge part of our identity based around our skin color or which part of the world we happen to be born in. Like, no one chooses their skin color, apart from Michael Jackson. But I understand me saying this. Like, as like a straight white middle class male, like, I accept that I have white privilege. Like, I accept that I receive preferential treatment from police. People rarely have to touch my hair, and I'm never invited to the fun churches. Yeah, as a straight white middle class male, the closest thing I can compare to being discriminated against is not being liked by people from Sunderland. Mostly because of football. But yeah, I never thought that white people were better than anyone else. Because I grew up watching the Jeremy Kyle show and Jerry Springer, where I regularly saw white people with less than an ideal amount of teeth fight prostitutes and marry a horse. But I don't think anyone's better than anyone else, because everyone knows something, or more about something than you do. So, like, you might know more about math than me, you might know more about philosophy, you might have a better fingering technique. It's two fingers, isn't it? It's two fingers and use your thumb to... We can talk after the show. Basically, my point is that this guy can teach us about fingering. We have a lot to learn. So, billionaires are currently setting the world on fire. Reports from Oxfam from 2023 to 2025 showed that the richest 10% of the population emitted more than 2/3 of the emissions from 1990 to 2019. Currently, the richest 1% of the population emits more than 2/3 of the CO2, and the richest 0.1% of the population emits more CO2 in a single day than over half of the planet in an entire year. Who would have thought that greed would ended up killing our species? Probably the producers of Squid Game. I think that makes sense. Or the Antichrist. I don't know if you guys have saw the news recently, but we're currently in the climate crisis. It's not this far off thing. There's huge wildfires going on in Canada, one of the worst they've had. Some of the worst wildfires they've had in France and Spain, where they evacuate over 500,000 people. We're in the climate crisis. People in communities are already being devastated all around the world, and it's only projected on getting far worse. We need to find a way to get people to care about each other, themselves, their futures, their children's future, and other children's futures. Unfortunately, MDMA only works for short periods. I'm not saying that MDMA is the cure for the empathy crisis in the world. I am saying that so far it's the best strategy we have, apart from more people doing Ask with Jesus. Yeah, I just think people need to emotionally connect more with the impacts of climate change. For example, there's currently over 3 trillion tons of plastic and microplastics in the sea right now. It's mainly abandoned fishing gear, which the fish then eat. And this really personally bothers me, because I love eating fish and sushi. And lately all of my poos have been at least 30% plastic. I think my sphincter can't take any more. 30% is my limit. Yeah, the last time I had this much plastic in my body, I was being aggressively pegged by an ex-girlfriend. The guy last night did not high-five that. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. In 2 ways, I don't know. But I understand that this might seem like the kind of comedy show where I'm going to hold up a bunch of graphs, but I accidentally left them at home. I'm not going to try and convince you that the climate's fucked with a bunch of graphs and data, because I'm not a climate scientist. But I do sometimes pretend to be one on OnlyFans. I'm a comedian. One of my main goals in comedy is to get a special on Netflix before the ice caps melt. According to NASA, Greenland is losing around 30 million tons of ice every single hour, and there could be no ice in the Arctic in summertime by as early as 2045. So I don't have a lot of time left, but it's all right. Everyone seems pretty chilled. Unlike the ice caps, am I right? Yeah. That's the one I promised. I wanted to make this show to kind of encourage people to think about the world in a much more logical way. Classic autism. Because I just refuse to accept that the vast majority of people will knowingly sit back and watch and allow billionaires and oil companies to sacrifice more and more of the planet and people's lives and children's futures, also that a very, very, very tiny percentage of the population can continue to make record-breaking profits and likely honor the deal that they made to the Antichrist in bringing forth the end of the world, while paying millions to far-right politicians trying to convince people that everything's fine. They're doing a great job so far. The Antichrist will be proud. Yeah, I think that in a lot of ways, we autistics are the normal ones, and it's the rest of the people that think strangely. Unfortunately, none of my ex-teachers or girlfriends agreed with that. Just me and Greta Thunberg so far. Yeah, some people say like being autistic is like having a superpower. Just not one you would typically find on the Avengers. Like you have super strength, flight, and someone doing long monologues about 1980s movie trivia. Like, based on the current scientific consensus, we're expected to hit 1.5 degrees of warming in the next 2 years, 2 degrees of warming by 2050, and up to 4 degrees of warming by 2100, making most of the planet largely unlivable. A lot like Sunderland. So there's 2 most likely futures. Firstly, I want to say that if it's a bit intense, like it's a lot of information. Like an early review for this show, The Fringe said, it felt like a lecture with jokes. It actually made me wish that the ice caps would melt sooner. But I appreciate my dad for getting involved, sitting in the front row. Yeah, so the current scientific consensus says that we have 2 most likely futures awaiting us. But whatever future we get is made up of the decisions and actions that we take right now. So future A, we continue to allow billionaires and oil companies to sacrifice more and more of the planet, people's lives and children's futures. They become insanely richer every year until they own everything, and it's just the rich people and the poor people working for them. Climate change continues to get worse and worse until eventually it's just the rich people in these massive walled cities who have built these cities with a huge, massive wall to hide behind as the world and other people die around them. Essentially, what future A is, we let the Antichrist win. Or future B, we don't do that. Like, we take a lot of the wealth back from the super rich, ideally through various seasons of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. More people do Ask for Jesus. We pressure government and politicians to enact climate change policies and legislation, investing massively in renewables, reducing the carbon in the atmosphere every year, and generally avoid the apocalypse. And we build a future and a society that works with nature instead of against it. A place where future generations can live and even thrive. Kind of like the opposite of Sunderland. So that is pretty much the show. Thanks. Some of you guys have got tickets, some have not got tickets. I'll be at the back of the room with a card reader. But before we get into the kind of bucket speech, round of applause for you guys, because this is like a sauna in here. So this is like you guys have done very well, like staying for the hour. This is preparing you for the reality of a warming planet. So if you see this show at the Pleasance or Udderbelly, you'd pay like about £20–25 for a ticket. I think the show is worth at least £5–10. So if you can donate, please do. I'll be at the back room with a card reader. I also take weed and other stuff as payment. If anyone here would like to follow me after this gig, if you take the number 16, it goes to the bottom of Leaf 4. And if you want to follow me online, it's at Andrew Tubman 2 on OnlyFans, Bumble, and Screwfix. And as this is my last show, you guys are my last crowd, one more round of applause for yourselves, and one more round of applause for my colleague coming all the way to support me. I really appreciate it. If you had a Fringe show this year or next year, I will come to that. I'll be back at the room with the card reader. You guys have done great for Comedy Sauna. This is been the last showing of Ask for Jesus. I normally tell you guys to spread the word about the show, but it's the last one. This has been Ask for Jesus.